Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tesla stock had a strong close yesterday, despite the markets coming under a lot of pressure. Okay, S&P was down over 1%, NASDAQ was even worse than that. The big catalyst is the economic data coming out in this upcoming week. It's going to reshape expectations around what the Fed is going to do, and we'll talk about that a little bit in today's episode. But I think a lot of people have written off the Santa Claus rally and the odds that is coming this year. Technically, the Santa Claus rally doesn't even start until the last week of December. Technically, okay? Now, December tends to be a good month historically. And I do think the setup is still there. I think we are going to have a strong close to this year, because there's a lot of things going right now for stocks, and the recent AI fears, well, that's just Wall Street being Wall Street. Okay, I don't think we have a larger problem here. But we'll talk about it in today's episode. We will get into all of your Tesla stock-specific news as well. Do me a quick favor, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We have a very important update for all of you today. If you guys want to come trade with us, check that link out down below in the description of today's episode, and let's begin. Okay, so if you look at the heat map for this market yesterday, Tesla was a big winner, okay, versus other areas of this market. Like Mag 7, Microsoft down 1%, Nvidia down almost 3.5%, Google down 1%, Meta down 1.3%, Amazon down 1.8%, Apple about break even, up 0.1%, Tesla up 2.7%. Even in the auto manufacturer sector, consumer cyclicals, Tesla up 2.7% is much better than GM up 0.05% or Ford up less than 1%. Tesla was one of the biggest performers on the S&P in general. All right? GE is the only stock I can see on the S&P that was better than Tesla on Friday. GE was up about 4%. Okay, so that's important. Well, Chipotle was up about 3.5% as well. Why is that happening? Okay, it's because we're heading into 2026, and we're heading into a year that is going to be explosive in terms of AI growth for Tesla. Elon's compensation package was recently approved. None of these things have really been reflected in Tesla stock. Okay, now semiconductors, technology did not do great. Amazon here did not do great. Consumer cyclical, communication services did not do great. Like software was a mixed bag. Semiconductors, computer hardware, electronic components, scientific and technical instruments, communication equipment, none of these things did good. Okay, there was this rotation, but I do believe we're going to see a rotation into tech again. Specifically, not just the Mag 7 stocks, but the quality growers, whether they're mid caps, small caps, the quality stocks that are growing much faster than the markets, those are going to be the areas that I think are hot next year. And Tesla is going to be one of those areas. Now, Yunta Sai on X says, I remember the day when Elon asked us all, hands on deck, to solve vision only just like yesterday. We began to work really hard on reasoning the world without those crutches, like humans. While it took several heroic efforts to get there, I do not think full self-driving would be as good as it is today without his insistence. Also in the news today, Selkirk has released some additional images of their plaid pickleball paddle collaboration with Tesla. This thing sold out within like 2 hours. It's $350 for this pickleball. I mean, Tesla could literally sell anything, and people would buy it. Now, also in the news, Tesla will be increasing Model 3 and Model Y lease pricing in the US by up to 67% on December 26th, and Cybertruck all-wheel drive lease pricing by 16%. The Model Y premium rear-wheel drive will be $549 a month with a $3,000 down payment. Model Y premium all-wheel drive, $649 a month with a $3,000 down payment. Model 3 rear-wheel drive, $499 a month with a $3,000 down payment. Model 3 premium all-wheel drive, $549 a month with a $3,000 down payment. And Model 3 performance, $749 a month with a $3,000 down payment. And the Cybertruck all-wheel drive at $849 a month with a $5,000 down payment. And we can also see that Tesla's FSD V14.2.1.25 is now rolling out with a holiday update to hardware for vehicles. Now, as I've talked about before on this channel, FSD likely receives the title of unsupervised next year. But I think it's going to be with update 15. I think Elon and Tesla want V15 to be the one that became, unsupervised, right? It's a round number. 15 sounds better than 14.7.1, right? So that's where I think we're headed. Now, Elon Musk has recently said that the next big value creation for Tesla, beyond Optimus, which is an obvious one, beyond robotaxis continuing to expand, which is the expectation next year, is FSD becoming unsupervised. Because at that point, I mean, even from a vehicle sales perspective, if you can work in your car, if you can sleep in your car, if you can, do whatever you want in your car, and your car just literally drives itself, and, you're safe, you're fine, which is basically where we are right now. But once that title actually happens, once people can start to do that, I don't know how legal it is in all states, but it is going to be a big selling factor for Tesla, right? Especially once people start to see this in person, see people doing this. It's going to help vehicle sales out dramatically in the countries where it's possible. I would imagine in the US and hopefully China. We'll see. Although China is on fire, okay? Tesla in China is doing exceptionally well. It doesn't seem like China needs any help with demand. If there's a bright spot for Tesla, it is in China. With, the Model YL, the new Model 3, that are sold out into January and February right now. Demand in China looks great. Now, in option activity on Friday in Tesla, you had 222 different trades totaling $130 million with a positive order value of 81%. Okay, so very bullish, right? Lower dollar amount than we're used to. Last on Thursday, you had 103 different trades totaling $538 million with a positive order value of 94%. So Friday was 4 times lower than Thursday's number, but continues to be very positive. Now, we also have a short interest at about 3.3%, which is up recently from some of the levels around 3% that we were at. We were at about 2.5% short interest back in early November. So shorts have added to their short positions, but on Friday they covered about 13,000 shares of their Tesla short position. On Friday, sentiment for Tesla was bullish at 59, message volume was normal at 53, participation ratio was high at 58. Now, Tesla stock again had a really good day on Friday, I believe, because Tesla is seen as kind of one of the outliers among Mag 7, right? What's the story for most of your other Mag 7 stocks? It is, how much can they spend on GPUs? What does their cloud business look like? Blah, blah, blah. It's all the same story. Tesla has taken a totally different approach. Tesla is creating products and services for real world applications of AI that are targeting the mass population, that is bridging the gap between, you know, B2B, like business to business AI applications, to B2C, business to consumer, right? Tesla is, with robotaxi, going to revolutionize the way that people travel. Tesla's vehicles are already revolutionizing the way people travel. And I think what the move on Friday really signifies is Wall Street is excited for Tesla for next year. Wall Street is excited for Tesla's AI prospects next year, right? With robotaxi expansions continuing and likely some piloted sales of Optimus next year. You know, Tesla, all things equal, they have their energy business, they have their auto business, they have the FSD business as of now, solar, and some other smaller ventures. But they're breaking into multi-trillion-dollar industries at rapid speeds. Okay, you might not think the robotaxi at this point is moving quickly because it's been a little while since we've heard anything on the robotaxi, but you know how long it took Waymo to even start operations, let alone remove safety drivers? Years. Okay, it took a long time. Tesla is actively working to deploy robotaxi in every corner of this country. It really comes down to regulation at the core of it. Okay. So, over the coming months, we're going to have catalysts for Tesla, robotaxi deployments. We're going to have good news that comes out, and Wall Street is front running that a little bit. You know, if we do have a Santa Claus rally, which is still my expectation, Tesla's really going to shine here. Tesla's really going to outperform here. Let alone Elon Musk just got a compensation package and is now contracted to be the CEO at Tesla and is focusing a lot of his efforts at Tesla, which definitely helps the Tesla story. But you mix, you know, Tesla breaking into these huge potential industries like robotaxi and Optimus next year, mixed with the expectation of inflation's going to come down, economy's going to do well. We get a new Fed chair that's going to be more prompted to cut rates. Anywhere from 1 to 3 rate cuts is in the cards next year, okay, depending on what inflation does. You have an environment, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, being able to write off auto loan interest, cutting red tape from a government perspective, from AI, from manufacturing, from licensing, deregulation, if you will. That's great. Again, real estate, if that can begin to pick up, consumer can get better. And, you know, I look at it like, is real estate going to get worse or could it get better? Like, the highest probability is it probably gets better before it gets worse from here. Okay. So when you put all of that together, you know, you do have a very strong backdrop for this market. And for Tesla specifically, that is really one of the standouts in terms of where they are using AI among Mag 7 stocks. It's clear Tesla's going to have a good year next year. I think Tesla is going to be the biggest outperformer of the Mag 7 next year. It might be one of the biggest performers of the S&P next year. If you know, I'm correct and Tesla's at $800-900 stock by the end of next year, that's roughly a double from here. Tesla might be the outperformer, the biggest performer on the S&P next year. Like, don't be shocked if that happens. Again, maybe some things next year did not go according to plan. Maybe there's problems with Tesla. That's always a possibility. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. Like, you got to assume there's going to be some problems. But even with some problems, Tesla is clearly in a very good position versus some of your other companies. Okay. Really, I think next year is the year of AI application. Like, what companies are actually selling AI, helping the development of AI and the adoption of AI. I think it's going to be a lot less about how many GPUs a company can buy and more about what products and services are they, you know, selling. That's the case for 2026. Wall Street prices things in ahead of time, and I think they're just pricing that in for Tesla a little early. Okay, the Santa Claus rally is more of a tactical thing, right? The tax loss harvesting is over. Um, we really have this week and some of your upcoming data catalyst, but after that, there's not much into the end of this year. Okay. Now, if you're a hedge fund or institution and you're underperforming the S&P, that doesn't look good. You might want to boost your performance into the end of the year, right? Give your clients an extra check or pad the books a little bit. Okay? So, a tactical chase into the end of this year makes a lot of sense. Now, technically, the Santa Claus rally does not begin until the last week of December and heads into the first week of January. That's historically. It's got pulled forward in recent years where it's more so like the last couple of weeks of a year, aka December. But technically, it's not until like the last 2 weeks of December. Technically, the last week of December and the first week of January. Now, first week of January is a little dicey sometimes because, some years Wall Street is kind of pessimistic on the following year, right? Like everyone thought there was going to be a recession in 2023. That obviously did not happen. So, the January rally did not go according to plan, right? But, there's a lot of people out there that say, oh my gosh, this market's screwed, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not even technically there to the Santa Claus rally yet. Next week should tell us a lot more about, what a tactical rally could look like. But where really I get excited is the tactical rally perspective. But there's a strong reason for that being next year looks like it's going to be a very supportive year for stocks, right? Like, what's the worst case scenario if you're a hedge fund? You play a tactical rally into next year, which next year looks like it's going to be a good year as well. Like, it's not like you're playing a tactical rally into what you think is going to be a recession. No, you're playing a tactical rally into what you believe will be inflation coming down, a couple of Fed rate cuts, real estate picking up, consumer getting stronger, blah, blah, blah. Okay, new Fed chair in May, trade certainty after the Supreme Court rules on tariffs at least. The setup looks good. I'll say that. And I think it looks a step better for Tesla because of the industry that they are in and the areas that they are targeting. So I still think Tesla is going to be in the 500s by the end of December. Like, that has not changed. And it's not actually even the craziest prediction that I've ever made because it's only a rally of about 11% to get to the low 500s. But once you get into the 500s, things could really take off from there, right? That might not be where Tesla stops. If you can break above 500, you could easily go into the 550s or so into the end of this year. Now, if we get good news, robotaxi expansion, something like that, that would obviously help. I don't think we necessarily need that, though, to see a rally into the 500s into the end of this year. So let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Check that link out down below in the description of today's episode if you guys want to come trade and invest alongside us. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.